Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing some of the frequently asked Java 8 coding interview questions. So we will start one by one from the basic question and then slowly we will go to the advanced questions. Okay, so let's get started. So you can see here I have taken an employee object. This is a custom object which has fields like id, name, city, age, gender, salary, department. So this employee object we will use as an input for our programs. Okay, and I have created one employee util class also, in which I have added some random dummy datas into the employee object. I have created some dummy employee objects and have added into the employee list. Okay. So this particular employee list which I have created here, that I will use as an input in my coding programs. Okay. So today we will discuss on this one very basic question, but this question gets asked a lot into the Java interview. So let's start with this. Okay. So you see, I have created an employee util object here, and then from util create employee list I am calling. So this EMP input list object will contain all this employee list data. Okay. So here, if you see, I'm going, the first question is given an employee input list. In the output list, I want only employees who are working in finance department. So basically here I have to write a code in Java 8 syntax, okay, which will basically filter only those employees from this input list who are working in finance department. So if we go to the employee util class, you see only this first two employees, right? With ID 1 and 2, these are working in finance department. Okay, so ideally in your output list only this two employee object should be written. Okay, so let's see that in action. So what we can do is, we have this employee list, right? So we can do employee list dot stream. Okay, then we need to use filter here. Okay, why filter? Because we have an employee list which contains a lot of employees, and out of that, in the output list, I want only those employees who are working in finance. So we are basically performing a filter operation here. Okay. So we can use some lambda expressions here, like e dot dot get department dot e ignore case equals to finance. Okay, so here, like in the filter, I need to provide the lambda expression. So I need only those employees whose employees department, get department will return those department whose name is, equals ignore case is finance. Okay, and then we need to collect it to a output list, right? So we can do collect collectors dot to list. Okay, so what it will do is, it will filter all those employees whose department is equals to finance, and then it will create a new list. Okay, it will return a list which contains all these employee object whose department is finance. Okay, so let's take that uh, output list, right? Let's assign this list which is returned by this stream operation in a variable. So let's give it an example like list employee output emp list. Now let's print it. So let's run this program now. So you see only this first two rows, right, which we have in the employee util. See this first employee object, this belongs to finance. The second employee object belongs to finance, right? So you can see in the output list, we are getting those two objects. So it's a very frequently asked interview question. Similarly, they can, ask you to filter, you know, filter only those employees, whose salary is greater than maybe 10,000. Okay, let's take an example. So everything will be similar here. Okay, only this filter, the condition that we have mentioned inside this filter operation will be different. Okay, so here what we have to do, since we have to filter only those employees, they will not mention this filter thing explicitly in the question. They will say give return only those employee, right? Return only those employees whose salary is greater than 10,000. So in this filter, we need to change it. Okay. So what we have to do, E dot, here I need to update this one, E dot get salary is greater than symbol 10,000. Okay. Yeah. So if you do this, right, so let's see, only this employee whose ID is 3, only his salary is less than 10,000, and all other employee salary is greater than 10,000. So it will return row 1, row 2, ID 4 and ID 5. So let's see if it is working or not, right? I can give here output list 2. Okay. So let's run this program now. So you see employees with salary greater than 10,000, right? So it is returning employee ID 1, 2, 4 and 5. It is not returning here the 3. Okay, it is not returning the employee with ID 3 here, because if you see here, the employee with ID 3 is having salary less than 10,000. So that means both of our programs is working fine.